Hello and welcome to Rock Talk. This is Lord Sixx with.
Hi, I'm Dr. Killjoy. If you like what you see today, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow us for more.
And I am C Train. Also, again, if you like what you see, this is in the bio below, you know?
Subscribe,
all that good stuff. Yeah.
Write us a message.
Yeah.
write us a little letter, tell us what we're doing wrong, and make fun of us when
Make fun of
What
us.
show is this? Are we on 100 yet?
Seventh. This is
Uh,
the seventh show.
Seems like number 7.
Number
We
seven.
have done these things
One,
forever.
one more than six. Seven.
You would think by now we would have a little bit of idea on how we're going to start this show.
I know, right?
Unfortunately,
It's this learning process that we just don't learn.
that's because I am Lord Sixx, the clueless.
That's true.
That is true. Self-incriminating too.
Yeah.
Do not interview this man at
Yeah,
any point.
He'll knock himself out.
He will knock himself out.
We'll get into more of that later.
Yes. I hope we
But-
do.
Speaking of incriminating and lawsuits,
Oh
yeah, that's one of the things we're going to start talking about today. Apparently, Ed Sheeran is in the news today. He won his lawsuit.
Yay,
for Ed Sheeran, yay.
Ed Sheeran.
Seems the British pop star Ed Sheeran is not liable in a copyright infringement lawsuit that accused him of taking parts of the melody from Marvin Gaye, one of his classic songs called "Let's Get It On,"
Yeah.
in his own hit song "Thinking Out Loud." So he won that lawsuit somehow.
It sounded similar.
We listened to that tune side by side.
No, I don't know if
There are a lot of similarities.
but the same drum beat on, so I don't know if the person who was doing it only had one drum beat or if he was using the both and they were both.
Well, no, I think he was just using the beat that went along for the song.
The beat was pretty much note for note.
Yeah.
The only difference, like, is in Marvin Gaye's classic "Let's Get It On." It seemed like he put a little bit of guitar into it,
Yeah.
and Ed Sheeran didn't.
Yeah.
But Ed Sheeran was pretty happy. Ed Sheeran stood up, hugged his lawyer, and gave the jury the verdict. Haha, on you.
Yes.
I got away with it.
Ew.
Give him the old Scottish finger.
And got away with it. Piss on you guys. I'm out.
I'm out.
Go see
Drop the mic.
what song copyright infringe next.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's not the only one to have done it. Apparently, there's been a few other artists that have done it in the past and have gone to lawsuits.
How about that Creep and you know the name?
Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Rey and Radiohead and someone before Radiohead. Do you remember what that one was?
Radiohead, they had their song "Creep," and then there was
It was a song.
Way to segue into it there.
yeah, that just really rolled right into that pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Just
Okay, okay.
That's
back
what
to truck.
what Lord Dummy is talking about is the fact that Creep filed a lawsuit against Lana Del Rey back in 2017 for an infringement on their 1992 hit Creep. But Creep also was hit with a lawsuit that their song Creep was similar to another tune called
It was called "From the Heart That I Breathe."
The Air That I Breathe.
from back in 1974. So that's kind of the pot calling the kettle black.
Yes, and they did sound similar.
They did. We listened to all three tunes, and there are some major similarities in the melodies that they use for those
That's-
particular
yeah.
tunes.
If I was depressed and wanted to do harm to myself, I'd probably listen to all three songs.
At the same time.
But if I had that ability, yeah, absolutely.
But it seems like another famous person, or famous back in the 80s, also did, and that would be Vanilla Ice,
Yes.
who is probably sick and tired of being told that his song was
His was the most notorious.
the most recent probably,
The most notorious.
Yeah, right.
because he lifted the Queen tune right off the record.
Now, do you remember that guy that held him over the balcony? What was his
Michael
name?
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Well, that was Michael Jackson with his child.
Yeah,
No.
that was
You
Michael
don't know what
Jackson.
you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Some guy
okay.
held
Held Vanilla Ice
over a balcony.
over the balcony. Is saying it says, if you don't admit that you ripped this off, I'm going to let you go.
You mean
Was that
fire him?
Batman?
No. Something Night, I think.
Oh, the Dark Knight.
No, not the Dark Knight. I thought his last name.
With the space
I
speed
don't
and all that stuff.
Basketball?
Yeah, mascot.
No.
Very poor choice of words.
All I know is that happened. Whatever.
Okay.
Lord Sixx, have you ever
Now's not the time.
took anything from any music?
Absolutely.
Yes,
take-
yes, Mr. Six,
I
please.
have a song. I have a song.
Please tell us.
I have a song called "Fetus and Eggs" where it says, "I wake up in the days I'm a homicidal rage." War has a song.
Very famous song.
Very famous
War
song.
has a song that says, "I'm in a homicidal rage." I sometimes I'll take 2 or 3 words and make a completely different song out of it. The only time I absolutely did plagiarize was on a song called "King of Kings, Lord of
Put
Lords."
those pins ready.
I know, right?
I took direct I
Oh,
took direct quotes from the King James Bible song. That's as close as I've ever came to plagiarizing.
oh my goodness.
But the King James Bible,
The fifth.
the King James Bible is not copyrighted anymore, so you can use whatever you want. That's the only thing I did. I took a couple. Iron Maiden took the number of a man,
Oh,
then a number of the beast, and they used that, so it's no problem. I just took a couple quotes from the Bible.
You don't know how many courtrooms this Lord Sixx has been in, trying to defend himself from all the plagiarism accusations.
Oh, I know.
They're lying. I don't plagiarize. I take 2 or 3 words. It's like somebody hands me a brick from a different building, and I build another building using that one little brick.
And if you're tuning out, just like we are,
Yeah.
moving on.
Somebody turned the switch off Lord Sixx.
It's
Well,
getting too
you
close
brought
to
it up, not me.
Well, yeah, but you going.
It seems to be that
It's like winding up a toy.
plagiarism is an issue when it comes to writing. You know, a lot of people seek solace in other people's works. I mean, uh, not to throw gasoline on a fire, but it seems like hip hop has built a career, built an entire empire of stealing riffs and other lines from well associated bands.
I'm not guilty of anything that bad like that.
I don't know if they do that now, but
They still
they
yeah,
used to.
they always have. I remember back when rap first came out in the 70s, I heard that they were trying to make it illegal for them to sample. They never did, but they tried to.
Well, we have no proof of that, so.
Well, I remember back in the 70s when I
But
heard about it.
when it comes to copyright infringements for music, there's only your basic genres. They have certain chord progressions. So a lot of songs, even though they may sound similar, I'm sure they weren't intentionally meant to.
Yeah, there's so many. There's 7 notes
Yeah, 7 notes.
in the scale.
Oh.
Scale. So I mean, they're using the same 7 notes in a million different ways. Some of them are going to sound similar.
And if you've been making songs we've been making songs for radio play for over 60 years now.
60 years.
At some point, sounding like others.
We're all close to 80, in case you didn't know that.
Yeah,
'cause
right.
We've been in the biz for 60 years.
Well, not us specifically, but I mean, there's been recorded music for
Yeah.
decades.
Plus, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of great music has come from another artist using samples, and it seems like the copyright, the laws are lenient on some of those people.
yeah.
But they came down pretty hard on Ed Sheeran, who was the latest person to.
And that lawsuit was filed in what, 2017?
Was it filed
Yeah,
that back?
I want to say
that
it was
far
filed-
back?
I want to say he's been fighting this one for quite a while, and
I've only recently just heard of it. So
he's not the only one that the Marvin Gaye family has been accusing of copywriting their material. Apparently, they really enjoy going to the courtroom.
do they?
Say the case statement, filed in 2017 by heirs of Ed Townsend, Gray's co-writer.
Well, I was reading that Sam Smith back in 2015 gave credit to Tom Petty for one of his tunes. Tom Petty and a co-writer Jeff Lynne
Oh man, I bet Tom Petty's
For-
rolling in his grave.
for his a hit "Stay with Me." But it's as uh, there's only so many chords that you can play before it starts sounding
Yeah.
similar to
That's what I
to
said.
somebody else.
There's 7 notes.
Yeah.
That's
So
it. 7 notes.
So if you play a guitar in any form, eventually your doodlings are going to sound like Metallica Battery or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, and
They'll sound like somebody else.
they'll sound like, eventually it'll sound like
Everything's
somebody
pretty
else.
much already been done.
Yeah.
Like Lord Sixx's makeup. There's cats that come out with that
Oh my gosh.
or shrimp or whatever this
Shrimp.
this
The originality fails us. But
yeah.
Hey, you try to make up a different makeup design every time.
I'd rather not.
I'll just stay with my good old fashioned ugly face. Just the one version of it that I have.
Yeah.
I will stay with that.
Just,
But
keep it simple.
but the Lana Del Rey, I listened to the tune. I liked it. Did you guys heard it too?
We sampled it.
We sampled it. I liked it. I thought it was the melody you could hear creep in there. But once they got to the chorus, she just went off in her own direction.
Yeah, she kind of did her own thing. And I'm not a big fan of Lana Del Rey anyway. I don't think I've heard a song of hers that I would listen to twice. But I can see where Creep would get the impression that she was inspired by the song Creep.
Yeah. Yeah, I can. Yeah, you
'Cause
can.
you can definitely hear it in that first.
You can hear
verse. But on the same token, you could also hear a little bit of the song "Creep" in the other song that we were listening to by the Heathens, the Hollies.
The Hollies. Yes, sir.
1974.
That song,
The year of our Lord, 1974. The air that
Yeah,
I
my
breathe.
Lord.
I was 2 years old.
You were too. Oh yeah.
So noted.
So noted.
Lord Sixx was. Let it be known that in that year, Lord Sixx was 2 years old.
2 years old.
Two, no more, no less.
No, no more, no less. Oh no! I forgot what I'm gonna say. That's funny. He was 2 years old, no more, no less.
No more, no less.
Bring it
Not three.
three.
Three was not the number of his age.
4 was not either.
I swear.
Or was it?
Regret and reform back to the number 2.
One was too young.
What would
3
be
was too
young?
much.
3.
But it was two.
But there was
Two
2.
was the
Eventually,
number
we
of
landed
his
on.
age.
It was, and 2 is,
And two it will be.
and 2 it shall stay.
Like down in the comments if you know what we're referencing. I'm sure there's a million of you out there that might know what we're referencing.
Possibly. Yeah.
Possibly. We hope
Always
so.
on the bright side of life.
Now
In
that's
ca-
plagiarism.
That's plagiarism.
No, yeah, if I would have used it in a
Call the lawyer. Call the lawyer.
Get the lawyers.
Get the lawyer out here. Make sure that we're not.
put it in a song, it would be.
You just sang it.
You just sang it. Yeah, you got all these people here that just heard you.
No, I wasn't copy. I was just.
have permission to
You have, yeah. And it's copyright infringement.
copyright infringement.
Yes, it is.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir, you did.
Anybody can sing a tiny bit of a song and not me.
That you got to get permission, which we did not have.
We did not have permission.
We did not.
All right, whatever.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on now. Oh, speaking of moving on, somebody who has moved on is Prince.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that fine, outstanding young gentleman?
It has been a while.
It has been a while, but his estate is now planning to release some unreleased Prince music.
And I hear he had a lot. He had a lot. Of
And the great thing is that in Minnesota, I think is it a highway that he
it's
gets?
a highway, yes.
A highway, Prince Highway, or
Yes, they're gonna name after Prince.
that's
Now, are we
just-
naming? Are they naming it after this prince or Prince Harry or Prince William?
No, it's the Purple Wonder himself.
Yeah.
Prince.
The artist formerly
The artist
now
formerly
known.
the artist formerly
Formerly
deceased as
as-
Prince.
Yeah.
Purple Rain Way, or
Yeah, I love Purple Rain. Great album.
That was
he was
Great-
overall a
great
great
movie.
entertainer.
great song.
Great movie.
You know, a lot of people refer to him as being one of the best guitar players.
Yeah,
You know,
but he really got into piano though at the end of his life.
yeah, he may have, but when you talk to people about who's the best,
Yeah,
his
he's one
name,
of them.
his name, it comes up quite a bit.
He could play so many different instruments. It was crazy. I want to be like him. I want to play like many
wanna
different
be-
instruments.
You want to overdose on
Instruments?
on instruments?
No,
Oh,
but he could play bass, guitar, keyboard, drums. I mean, he could play it all.
yeah, he could.
Yeah,
He could. That's a rare talent right
He
there.
was a great songwriter.
Yeah, he
He
was.
wrote songs for many different artists that made them millions. that-
Yeah,
Where they were chart toppers. He was just an all around, just a good artist.
yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Very.
His guitar playing though did stand out as being one of the best in the biz.
right.
It's I'd really like to know what happened to his Honer Telecaster that he used.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if the family has that or if it's in a
And
museum
what's that-
somewhere. Or...
What's that other guitar he has with the white one? With
Oh yeah, all of his when he broke away from what was it?
Telecaster.
No, he broke away from his music label
Oh
and he
yeah.
went on his own. He had those guitars created
Yeah.
because he didn't want to be called Prince anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was because of I think he was having a disagreement with his record label.
Yeah.
Label,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what. So he did, the unimaginable and became an unspoken holographic.
Holographic.
Not pornographic, but
Not
holographic.
No, I mean like Egyptians. What do they call that?
a symbol.
No, not holographic. It's something graphic.
If you have any idea
Oh,
what Lord Sixx is talking about, comment in the section below, please.
Basically, what it did is he created his own symbol. He took the male and the female sign and combined them,
yeah.
and he was being the artist that he was, created his own symbol, and
Made a guitar out
legally
of it.
he made a guitar out of it, and he also went to the courts and legally
Changed his
changed
name.
his name to a symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the only people to ever do that legally.
There's, if it could be done, I'm sure somebody else would probably want to do it too.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Our lawyer called and told us that we can mention hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's no copyright
that was not a
infringement.
copyright infringement. We are allowed to say it.
So we had to call our lawyer for it. Anyway, but Prince is still making money in the grave, with
Which is good for him.
Yeah, it's good for him,
Good for his
yeah.
family. They earned it. He did a phenomenal job. He deserves all that money.
Yeah, he does. He does. So
But in other news, moving on.
Rock and roll.
Yes, rock and roll.
what do you know about rock and roll? Tell us.
By all means, Lord.
all
That's-
means.
No. I mean, are you going to talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? That's the reason I.
Oh, the Rock and Roll.
Oh, yes.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
There's a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes, there is.
Well, since I think they started in February, they had 14 nominees that they were going to induct in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I think did a show on it, trying to figure out exactly how some of these people even made the conversation,
I have no idea.
let alone the list. Well, they've narrowed it down to 7. Um, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced its 2023 classic inductees on Wednesday, with 7 performers being awarded the distinction out of the original 14 nominations. Now, some of these people, Willie Nelson is, I understand Lord Sixx is a huge fan of Willie Nelson.
Yes, a big fan of Willie Nelson.
Who's 90 years old, by the way.
90 years old, like a couple days ago.
I'm not sure which rock song Willie Nelson sang.
It's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but it does represent all music, so just about all music.
Why would they name
Right,
something Rock and Roll Hall of Fame if it represents all music?
right.
I mean, wouldn't there be like a classical Hall of Fame, classical music Hall of Fame, or a hip hop Hall of Fame?
I'm sure they have those as well.
But I mean, they do have other artists that are, I would say, probably a little more deserving. One of the artists that were on the list that didn't make this list was Iron Maiden,
Yes,
and
Iron Maiden.
Soundgarden.
we found out.
And Rage Against the Machine too, correct?
No, they did make it.
Oh, they did make
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I think Rage Against the Machine was one of the few that actually have a rock song
Yeah.
that made the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
There were 15 nominees, which we spoke about in a previous podcast that we did, and we're kind of concerned as to how they chose some of these because some of these inductees are not rock and roll at all. Missy Elliott is the name that
Which,
comes to the
Yeah,
top.
which by Lord Six's own argument, she's an artist that has popular music. Therefore, she has every right to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as
yeah,
Willie Nelson.
Yeah,
yeah.
but does she? Does
In my
her?
opinion, no.
Does her group of music, does
Her
that,
genre.
her genre of music, her style of music, is that indicative of an inductee for the
For
rock
this,
and roll Hall of Fame?
'cause-
Is she on the same playing level as a Jimi Hendrix or
No,
even Nirvana?
no,
no.
in my opinion, absolutely not. I'm
I don't
sure
think so either.
Missy Elliott, I'm sure she did great
Yeah,
things
Missy
in her
Elliott.
genre, but as far
I
as
can understand Willie more than Missy.
not necessarily because Willie Nelson is not rock and roll.
He has never written a rock and roll
He's just
song.
as far away from rock and roll as Missy Elliott.
Yeah. And another person also is George Michael. George Michael is kind of,
Well, pop is rockish.
yeah, back in the day when he was in the 80s,
Yeah,
but he's been more pop than rock. And
yeah.
it's kind of head scratching as to why his name, sh- uh, uh, Kate Bush, I don't know much about Kate Bush.
I don't know either.
She has the one tune
She has a
from
one tune that was
Stranger Things.
barely on Stranger Things, and it wasn't even recognized in the 80s. So
Yeah.
I guess because they chose her song, I'm assuming randomly, and put it in a series that came out this year, that hey, let's put her in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, let's put it to a vote, and I guess the people voted. But what's
They
weird
should
is
have
that they,
actually named it like the Music Hall of Fame or something like that. Rather
If
than,
it was the Music Hall of Fame, I'd be a little more understanding.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because Iron Maiden should have been a shoe in.
Oh yes, Iron Maiden. They
It,
just
it should
they're
have went
more like a Maiden.
right to the top of the chart, for the inductees list.
Yeah, I love Iron Maiden. I'm not the biggest fan of Iron Maiden like I am other bands, but still, they deserve. They totally
Yeah,
deserve to
they've
be
got a career of
rock.
great metal and rock tunes that
But some people might say that metal's not rock and roll. Some people may say that.
those
I'm
people,
not saying I am because to me it is rock and roll. But
I don't know.
it's a
It's
version of rock and roll. Metal is to me. But I'm just saying some people may say, well, if country metal's not exactly rock and roll.
Well, metal's a lot closer to rock and roll than country. Well,
yeah,
it used to be. Now it seems like country has kind of adopted the rock and
Rock
roll.
and
yeah.
roll. Like the 80s.
Country's become more pop than
Yeah,
anything else.
it's like the rock and roll of the '80s is now country.
And now, as long as you play the same cookie cutter music and talk about working at your job, taking your girl and you're out to the lake with your truck and drinking a beer,
Yeah.
Yep.
you pretty much got a hit country
My
song.
mom
Yeah.
just got out of prison.
Who's that one guy that's got like 20% of the
Yeah.
top Billboard?
Oh, what was his name?
That would be Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen.
And he has a #1 song now, didn't he?
He's got 20% of the top 100. Is that what it is?
Yeah, a few episodes ago, a few episodes back, we read about 18 songs
18.
Out
on
of
the
on the
Billboard
100, right?
top 100. So if that were stocks, he'd have about almost a 20% share.
That's like 3 albums worth of material on the charts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so now magically he has the #1 hit last night.
So he overtook
But-
Miley Cyrus.
He knocked her off that throne.
Wow. Sorry,
Poor-
Miley.
Yeah, it had to run out sometime.
Yeah, it
It
did.
couldn't go forever. Thank God.
Oh boy. It's funny what people listen to nowadays. What I listen to is completely different. What these gentlemen to my left listen to is completely different. But we're all in agreement that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should stay rock and roll.
Oh, we're not all in agreement. But
Yeah. But George Michael, Kate Bush, Willie Nelson, great artists in their own right, especially
Want Your
Willie
Sex
Nelson. All
is
props to
rockish.
them.
I
But
want, I Want Your Sex from what's his name again?
that's George Michael.
Yeah,
But that's still pipe. That's still pop.
it's pop, but it's still
still-
rockish pop.
So
Yeah.
if you disagree with us, if you think that we're on If you think that we're wrong or whatever, leave something in the comments for us. We'll read those and we'll see if we can if you can change our minds for us.
Write something. We need to hear from you.
Yeah, we need to hear from you.
Yeah, if not, our shows will continue to look like this.
It's good.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of great things in store for future episodes.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
constantly
We get
updating and
better
upgrading.
better and better.
Yes, sir. And we've got a lot of new technology things that are just sitting
But we're only
in
better if we're
magic
better
boxes on the floor.
Yeah. We're only better if we're better to you.
So,
So we want you.
So yeah, we work hard at trying to give you guys the news. Again, we don't necessarily have a new artist to debut on this episode. So if you want your band to get a little bit of exposure, just write us, let us know. We'll take a look at you and maybe um, give you a little promo.
yeah,
Um,
why not?
but that clock is winding down,
not?
everybody.
Yeah, why not?
And why not? We'll take a look.
Yeah, we'll take a look. We thank you very much, though, for stopping by, for listening, for tuning in.
And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe
Don't
button.
forget.
Will you put my hand on my knee?
Do what? I
Oh
never
my-
put my, I did not put my hand on your
It's them
I went like
Bushmen that he
that.
was been looking at
My
the
goodness!
previous.
No.
Stop
I did not touch your
my
knee.
hand on my knee. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for
You're
that.
sick.
Now's not the time. Thank you very much for tuning in to Rock Talk. We'll see you later.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Goodbye from Lord Sixx and the Medicated.